Hello all, and welcome to tonight's beer review, which I am dubbing the I am very tired beer review. You can probably see these bags underneath my eyes. Um, yeah, I'm just exhausted. I didn't sleep well last night. Uh, Partially probably because, it was a very busy night at work last night and topped it off with the beer. And as you've probably noticed, the world has started to blow up again. And my mental state is probably too closely linked to current events than is healthy. So, what is it that we are reviewing tonight? Well, again, from the Elysian Brewing Halloween box set, we have Elysian's Dark of the Moon Pumpkin Stout. This is 7.5 ABV. Says here unfiltered and contains sediment. I'm going to bring up the website really quickly while my camera is blurry, as it usually is, because it is a potato. Its name is Potato. My camera is a potato. How many times can I say potato? Potato. So let's go and read the extended verbiage, because it's a longer version of what's on the bottle here. Spookily smooth and chocolatey, a perennial favorite and 2010 silver medalist in the Great American Beer Festival Field Beer category. Didn't know that fell under that category. Dark of the Moon is brewed with Great Western Pale, crisp 77-degree crystal, Munich, Caravian, roasted chocolate, and special bee malts with roasted pumpkin seeds in the mash, kettle, and fermenter, bittered with Magnum and finished with saws and crushed cinnamon. So yeah, so I believe the only spice in this is cinnamon, and you definitely taste a lot of cinnamon. Let me go and bring the camera view back up here. But honestly, I think this is the one that's kind of grown on me a little bit since the last time I've tried it. I don't think the recipe has changed much at all in all the time. But I remember being quite struck by it last night, and I've let this one warm for about 15 minutes outside because I think it's one of those ones. I think pretty much everything from this box set does better, a bit closer to room temperature. So let's go and pour this one out, shall we? Ooh, look at that thickness. Beer, you are thicker than oatmeal. I just want to say that. Okay, so basically, no light gets through this one. Not even when I tilt it, go and get it. So maybe in the slight corner you just see a sort of yellow brown, but yeah, hella opaque, with a brown, thick brown head. Definitely a stout here. Mm. And you got like baked cinnamon. Almost like a cinnamon toast crunch kind of smell. No, not cinnamon toast crunch, but like cinnamon toast, just regular cinnamon toast. Maybe if you made like cinnamon toast on brown bread. Yeah, because, there's just richness there. You don't really get butter, but you definitely get a richness. You get chocolate. So, underneath that, you get a kind of roasted coffee note, but this is definitely one of those stouts where it's more chocolate than coffee. And you also get a nice nuttiness as well. But yeah, you don't really get too much pumpkin in the nose, but you never really do get much pumpkin in the nose with these. As I say in all my reviews of pumpkin beers, pumpkin is more of a mouthfeel thing, and a slight taste note on the palate. It's not really something that shows up too much in the nosing. Kind of wonder why they just went with the cinnamon, you know, in this one rather than the whole assortment of spices. Probably because it clashed a little bit too much with the dark malts. That's my guess anyway. But the smell is very pleasant, very autumnal. Autumnal. Uh, that's a lovely descriptive word there. It's like cinnamon toast, like a cinnamon cookie, something like that. Very, very baked, very Maillard kind of reaction smell in there. Okay, on to the palate now, shall we? Like I said, this one's really been growing on me. Up front, you get sort of like a bittersweet chocolate. And in the finish, the long finish is just this interesting mixture of bittering hops, um, roasted dark malts, nuttiness, and a slight herbaceousness as well. Over the hop bitterness, and as well as a malt bitterness, as well as that roasted malt bitterness and hop bitterness, there's a definite sweetness, kind of balance that out. And it's definitely over that. It feels like it's not on, it's separate from the other flavors. Pumpkin shows up as sort of a roundness in the palate, and sort of that's probably also a bit of the. I'm not sure if it's the seeds, the roasted seeds, or the actual pumpkin mash itself that's showing up in the finishes. That sort of vegetal herbaceous note. But definitely giving it a much more rounded and smooth flavor profile, I find, than many stouts. Maybe a slight jagged edge in the end there, in the long finish with that slight herbaceousness. Top note is very chocolatey until the finish, where it really picks up that herbaceousness. Usually, I don't like stouts that are hopped up this much because there's quite presence of hop bitterness in the finish. But honestly, for some reason, it works for me. Maybe that pumpkin and those residual sugars are just enough so that it doesn't grate on me as much as that sort of flavor of dark malts and hopping usually does. Yeah. As it warms up, the cinnamon's a bit receding in. Um, Cinnamon's actually not that strong on the palate. It's really strong in the bouquet, but it doesn't show up too much in the top note and or the palate as all. at at all. Maybe because it's coming across as a bit more of that herbaceous kind of, maybe even slightly woody note rather than cinnamon spice. I mean, it's there, particularly up in the front, but definitely declines into nothing by the mids. Maybe there's a touch of it in the finish, though. Yeah, there's a touch of it in the top note of the long finish. Yeah. I still say I kind of prefer Night Owl, because it's got a bit more complexity there, but this is nicely complex too. And also, you know, it makes me enjoy a sort of beer that I usually don't enjoy, which is a I'm not going to say it's as like a dark IPA or anything like that. It's not to that hopping level, but it definitely is pretty stiffly hopped. So, kudos to it for making me enjoy something that I usually don't enjoy by changing it up a bit. Like I said, this one, definitely don't drink straight out of the refrigerator. It's kind of unpleasant, super cold. But once you get it up to about like mainland room temperature, it it definitely opens up quite a bit and displays much more complexity and nuance. So, Elysian Brewing, Dark of the Moon, Pumpkin Stout. Definitely one of the ones to try from this box set. And that, folks, is your beer review for this evening, which is also my birthday. So, happy birthday to me, I guess. Cheers!